Good morning. Welcome. No, not good morning. Welcome to this wonderful day. Welcome to wonderful Wednesday, the middle of the week, top of the mountain, as I always say. Uh, it's all downhill from here. Thursday, Friday, into the weekend. Trying to keep it positive. Got my son here, Mr. Cross, another positivity ambassador, as you know, I
Hey.
like to say, promoting that positivity. And I'll let him throw his little spiel in. And yes, welcome back. Welcome back. We are so proud to be back. So proud to do this again. I miss it. I miss you guys. And I would like to still keep the positivity going. So, yeah, like I said, going into my son. Yes, Ira.
So yeah, no, I thanks Pops for that. This has been a very way too long time coming.
Yeah,
And we've been talking about it. We've been wanting to come back and do it. We just haven't made time to do it, and we've made time to do it. And we're coming back with visual. So I thought this was a new way, a good way to reintroduce people who have been listening to the podcast and introduce it to new people who have maybe not heard the podcast, but now you can hear and see it. So if you're listening to the podcast, I'm gonna figure out a way to make this a visual thing. I haven't exactly figured out where yet. But obviously if you're watching this, you found it. So I'm trying to think in the future as we record this, but we'll figure out where it needs to go and then keep it consistently going there as much as we can. We have busy lives as well and the things that we're doing. Um, I was thinking, Pops, I was talking to you about this. I was
yeah,
thinking like maybe we don't show the visual because like, we want to like dress it up. I'm like, nah,
right.
this this is me. Like this light in the background is for work. I act and I model, and like the other light is literally right here. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
this is my creative space, and this is what it looks like. I'm not trying to make it look pretty and nice. I'm trying to make it look useful.
yeah,
And that's, I mean, honestly, I'll say that's your creative space behind
right.
you, really.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's dope to be able to just show that and not try to put on a front or anything like that. So I think that's another great way for us to start this off. This is season 2. We in it.
Yes.
Season 2 official.
Yes.
So with that, season 2, we are starting off with friends.
Mm, 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 mm.
How many of us?
Let's be.
But friends.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, we wanted to talk about, friends and why it's important to not just have friends, but why it's important to be a good friend. So I mean, Pops, you shared this from your Instagram, which if you don't follow his Instagram account, shame. That's not true. I'm not gonna shame you, but you
Right.
should because there's good stuff on there every single weekday.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, this man is consistent in posting some positive message some way, somehow. And today's message that he posted on his Instagram account, or was that yesterday? Maybe that was yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah.
I think it was yesterday's, which I was like, you know what? That's the first episode of the new season. Is friends. Are you a good friend? So,
Yeah.
I mean, Pops, I'll let you jump in and, kind of share your thoughts about one, why you wanted to share that thought, and then, your thoughts on if you're a good friend.
Yeah. Because I think about it, and that's one thing that I try to pride myself on.
Yeah,
I do pride myself on. I
yeah.
pride myself on being a good friend because I do see. I don't know, just from my perspective, just different people. I don't see the love that people have for each other, or even if you do
Mm,
have the love for each other, that you're not showing it.
right.
I, that's if that's your best friend, y'all should talk to each other. I should be able to, if you're my best friend or I'm your best friend, I should be able to talk to each other about anything if we have
Right.
or anything like that. Because we all, especially as you get older in life,
Yeah.
you need those friends. You need people to talk to. People don't realize it, but I don't know. A friend is someone that's really close to you, and when you need them. That's why.
Right.
And we don't realize how intricate those relationships are,
Yeah.
and how much we need them.
Yeah. I kind of bouncing off something you said. You mentioned like if that's your friend, and you care about them, I want to kind of go not a different direction, but kind of take that a step further. And not just with friends, but with people. If you miss somebody, tell them. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like if you love
Yeah.
somebody, tell them. Like
Right.
even if it's just a random text, like I and this is something that I've always believed in, but it actually came to fruition. A friend of mine who I consider like a big brother, he hit me up on Sunday and he was like, hey man, just wanted to tell you I miss you. That's it. That's the text. He didn't have to say nothing else. That was
Right.
cool. And what's dope is that his birthday was the next day, so I was already gonna hit him up regardless because it was his birthday.
Right.
But he just sent that text. That's what he was feeling. That's what he's saying. And I'm so happy he did that because it's like I said, I was gonna reach out to him regardless. But it's nice because it's always nice when that energy is reciprocated, right?
Yeah.
And I like with you, I'll text you randomly and be like, just I love you. Hope you're having a dope day. That's the vibe. We put that
Yeah.
out there, and I share that with anybody. Like I've had romantic partners that don't always like that I'm reaching out to people. Like,
Yeah.
why are you reaching out to this person randomly? I'm like, because I'm feeling it right now. Like, why
Right.
do you have a problem with me spreading positivity?
Right.
Like
Right.
I thought of this person. I want to say, like, hey, I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
Hope you're well.
Yes.
There's a
Yep.
time and place for that. Like and I get that within romantic relationships, I shouldn't be hitting on my ex. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right. Right.
That's not what I'm saying. But like, yeah, I'm reaching out to this person that maybe I haven't talked to in 10 years. To your point, trying to keep those relationships going. Um, but I think for me, it is very important to have good friends, somebody I can just pick up the phone and, like you were saying, talk to them about anything. And it
Yeah.
could be something super serious, or it could be talking about the new college football 25 game that came out and how I was just smashing Michigan. I'm an
Right.
Ohio State fan. If y'all listening and watching, I'm an Ohio State fan. And
Right.
I smashed Michigan. But I can have a range of those conversations, and they can do the same with me, and they should know that. And I think one thing that people fail at in life now is not realizing that it's okay to be the first one to reach out.
Right.
It's
Right.
okay. It's okay.
Right.
Sometimes you don't want to because you feel like it makes you look weak or
Yeah.
whatever. But if you reach out first and the person you reach out to looks at that as weak, that's a them problem, not a you problem.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
And that means they're not as deep of a friend as you realize, because they
right,
are. You want to be able to express yourself, and that's as a human, we're expressive beings, and
right.
we that reciprocated back and forth. We like, and like you said, just him reaching out and saying that to you, it just made you feel good, just out of the
Yeah.
blue. It ain't
Yep.
it didn't say I love you. It just just touching base, and
Yep.
you like, all right, yeah, all right, that's my dude.
Yep.
All right, I
Yep.
appreciate. It's that
Exactly.
little things that make us feel good that we don't even realize, and friends know that.
Yep.
Just touch base with me. Say something. Say, hey, how you doing? I was just like you said, I was just thinking about you.
Yep.
You I do that all the time with friends. Send a little text out because my new thing is greatness, and I send that to them. Your greatness. And the guy was
Yeah.
like, "What did I do to deserve that?" Like you said, I was just thinking about you.
Yes.
That you do. I want to praise you and give you that praise now, or like they say, I want to give you your flowers now. You
Yeah.
know, I just want to let you know that you're doing great things.
Yes.
And and I recognize it.
Yep.
And good friends can do that because if that's your good friend, when they need that lift up, or that
Yes.
they y'all know each other, and that's
Yep.
the good friend is just knowing when that person needs help, or if that person even needs help, or when that person knows that you need help. It's
Right.
just the relationship outside of the romantic relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very intricate in our lives, and we don't realize that because I hate seeing when people say I don't need nobody or
Yeah.
forget everybody and stuff
Because
like that.
that's not true.
Nah, it's not. I
It's not.
really don't like that because we all need each other, and that's why
Yes.
friends are important.
Right.
It's just I don't know. It's just, yeah. And then I have friends that I had from childhood up, so
Hmm.
I hope that I know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. I.
uh,
I just. I think one of the things that people don't realize that I'm really working on this. This is something that I'm trying to get better at in my romantic relationship, but also with my friends as well. And I got held accountable. I don't want to say called out because called out feels negative, but I got
yeah,
held accountable. Like, hey, I know you care about me, but sometimes things happen in my life and you don't check in. I'm like,
right,
dang, that's deep. That's
yeah,
deep. And I'm the type I consider myself, and other people have described me this way, but I feel like I'm very coachable. But
yeah,
when you get coached hard on something that you really feel either confident in, or like, it just kind of hits you hard. You like, all right, let me take this in for a minute and then, move forward with it and grow from it.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of leads into like the how are you a good friend?
Right.
And I think for me, one of the things I'm working on is the how of how am I a good friend by checking in.
Yeah.
Like a good friend of mine, you know, he is going through some things. I'm not gonna say exactly what, but he's going through
Yeah.
some things with his family. And so I've been checking in, like, hey man, how you feeling? Hey,
Yeah.
sometimes, hey, I'm good, man. I'm feeling today was a good day. I had a good conversation with XYZ. Job
Yeah.
is going well. You know, I'm feeling great. Other days, it's like, man, this family thing that we were talking about that you know of is, whoo, it's beating me up. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, if do you want to talk about it? Do you want to vent? Do you want to do that? And that's another thing too that I got to put in. A good friend of mine, she and I, we are really, really good when we get on the phone with each other or in person for that matter. It's like we'll be like, yo, and we can instantly tell the other person is having a day and they need to talk about something that is affecting them in a negative way. And
Right.
so we don't even think like, hey, how are they feeling? How do I want to respond? We just start off like, yo, are you venting or do you need advice? We legitimately just ask. And
That's true.
there's nothing wrong with that. Like
Right.
I think people don't realize like, oh well, I don't want to ask them if there's something wrong when I feel like I should just know. You're not psychic, and that's
Right.
okay. Like
Right.
ask your friend because
Right.
she and I do this like there's been times where like I'll start in and she'll be like, oh hold on. I know you're going in on this thing and I'm interrupting you, yes, but I need to know. Are you venting? You just need me to hear you, or do you need me to like give you advice? Because one, that tells them how you want them to be a friend, and
Right.
and then it tells them as well how they can respond and how they can give their focus. Because I don't mean any disrespect to anybody when they say this. If you tell me you just need to vent, I might be,
Right.
uh-huh, yep,
Yep.
oh that's wild, that's crazy,
Yeah.
uh-huh. I hear you, but my attention isn't given as much as it truly needs to be to give a response because I'm
Right.
listening to absorb rather than listening to respond.
Right.
And that's
Right.
something that she doesn't give herself credit for and she probably never will, but I give her credit. She is a great listener to respond when I'm like, "Hey, I got this thing." And I think I do the same for her. And so with those two things, I think me, you know, having the conversation with a friend of mine, any person for that matter, but a close friend of mine, asking a question, two responses possible. Are you venting, or do you need advice from me on this, or am I insight? The
Yeah.
other thing is me working on checking in on people on specific things. Because
Yeah.
yes, it's great to be like, "Hey, how you been?" But it's another
Yeah.
thing to be like, "Hey, pops, how's cycling been?" You know what I
Right.
mean? Which I
Right.
haven't even asked you that question in a minute, and so like I'm kind of, you know, I should be asking you that more because I know you love it.
I know it.
Um,
Yep. Exactly.
right?
You're right.
So I need to check in on more of the things. Like if somebody's, you know, God forbid, somebody's mom is sick. Hey man,
Mm.
how's your mom been? Is she getting any better? Is she getting
Right.
worse? Do we
Right.
need to go see her in the hot? Like little things like that are a big deal to people.
Yeah.
So I'm literally thinking of a few different people. Like, okay, I got to
Yeah.
check in on these things with these people.
I
If
need that.
that sounds like it's exhausting or taxing on you,
It's not. Right. Right. Write it
I
down.
mean, you could write it. I mean, I specifically bought this with this on
Yeah.
purpose.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
bruh, is it hard sometimes? Yes,
It is.
it,
It is.
it can be. But if you really care, then you'll make it happen. Here's
Right.
another thing I'm gonna throw out there. You don't need 1,000 friends.
Right.
Facebook says you do, but you don't need 1,000 friends. I
Ex-
have like maybe 10 really, maybe five
yeah.
really, really, really close friends.
Right.
I got like maybe 30, 40. Like, yeah, I'm cool with them. And
Yep.
then I have other people I consider associates that I love that are dope, but they're not
Right.
close.
Right.
And that's okay. And then
Right.
I have so many people, and this is not me bragging, because I'm not the only person that's like this. I know a lot of people that I don't have a number for.
Right.
I know a lot of people. And I travel a lot. So I know even more people. So those people are not close to me. I'm not going to share my intimate life details with them.
Right.
And that's okay. I don't expect the same from them.
Exactly.
So no, I definitely think those couple of things of how are simple, straightforward, not always the easiest, but definitely simple.
Yes. Yeah, and like you said, just being a good friend means listening a lot too. That is that being a great listener, because
Yeah,
like you have to hear what they're saying. They have to hear what you're saying. That's
right.
part of the conversation is being a great listener. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's what being a good friend is also. Uh, yeah, that's what I have for now. I don't know. Good. Just I like. I always that my point is have good friends,
Yes.
be a good friend, and
Yes.
in order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. You know,
Right.
so it all goes hand in hand in that circle of life.
Yes.
That,
I
that's
think,
that's what my main point of is. I feel like I'm a good friend,
yeah.
and I want others to feel that way too. That they are good friends, and then you
Right.
once you think that way, your mindset, you know, gets into that sync of things, and you're all right. I'm a good friend, and you do
Yeah.
things. You know,
Yes.
it, the way you think is a lot, but yeah, having that mindset, I'm a good friend. I'm a
Yep.
good person.
Mm-hmm.
Do good things,
Mm-hmm.
or at least your mindset will put forth that idea. Like they
Right.
say, put it out in the universe, it'll come back to you.
Right. 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 Sometimes tenfold, right?
Exactly.
Um, I think a thing to add to that is if you feel like you're a good friend and your friend genuinely comes to you to hold you accountable, not to call you out, right, but to
Yeah.
hold you accountable, like, hey, I don't feel like you're being a good friend.
Right.
Listen to them,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Take that in, and
Yes.
then be like, you know what? How can I improve?
Yes.
And then also take into account, because sometimes other people are not good friends, and that
Right.
happens. But
Yeah.
take into account, are you actually being a good friend like you feel you should be? And are you doing what you're supposed to do for your friend and be a good friend? If you feel like, you know what, I'm doing everything I can, and I just can't meet this person where they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens in friendships. That doesn't mean that you hate that person. That doesn't mean that you dislike that person. There's any animosity between you. It's just maybe you grow apart. That also happens.
Right.
And
Right.
that means that maybe it doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't trying hard enough to be a good friend, in my opinion. Again,
Yeah.
we are not experts. This is based on our experience as two men
Exactly.
growing up in the world, making our way through this world. We are not experts. These are just our opinions. So please don't be like, well, I'm living my life according to Ira and Ira. Like,
Yeah.
please don't do that. Like,
Right.
take our advice as as a grain of
Yeah.
salt. If you resonate, dope. If not, cool. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. But no, I think people grow apart for a lot of different reasons. And for me, one of the reasons I grow apart from some people is because I'm really diving into what I do now in my profession. And some people, I don't want to say they dislike it, but they just, I don't know, they don't resonate with what I'm doing. And so they kind of dismiss themselves in a sense. And
Yeah.
that's okay too.
Yeah.
That is kind of being a good friend in my opinion.
That's what I was just thinking too when you said
Ooh, your sound went out a little bit. Say that again.
to call me. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Uh, but yeah, it's just that's part of it being a good friend. I'm trying to think of what we were saying before it rang.
Well,
Uh,
because so we were talking about how, like I was saying, how sometimes you grow apart from people, and acknowledging that is,
yeah.
and accepting it as being is one way I think of being a good friend, in
Yeah,
my
good
opinion.
friend. Cause I know, okay, Ira over there, he got things going on. And I know what I do, it interferes with what he's going on, or
Sure.
however it don't work. But I acknowledge that I need to step away so he can do his thing, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever the
Yes.
situation. Yeah,
Yep. It reminds me, I just thought of like so many different things. But I was trying to find a specific like movie example in my head as you were talking. And like there's so many examples from like Boys in the Hood and all these other like movies. But the one that really stands out is Good Will Hunting at the end,
mm.
where they're both talking to each other. And he's just like, dude, if you're here in 30 years with me, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Like you should be gone. Like
Right.
you're better than this place. He's like, with me, if I'm here and I'm, I got a big beer belly and I'm chilling doing this construction thing still, I'm fine with that. But if you are, what do you do? Like he knew his potential, and as a
Yeah.
friend, he
Yeah.
was like, "Get out of here! Like, what you
Yeah.
doing?"
Yep.
So that's a good friend. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, and it's fun. I think it was Matt Damon's character that was like, "I'm not gonna leave you." And he was like, "Yes, you are."
Yeah.
Like,
I want
what you
you.
talking about?
Yeah.
You, my friend. I want you to. I want to see you do dope things. Like, what you mean? So
Yes.
I'm like, that's a good friend. It's like, I
Yep.
mean, it's honestly like so many of the people in my life, not just friends but family as well. They were like, you need to get out of Youngstown because you needed to go do better things, and
Yeah.
Youngstown will not help you do that. And I'm like, okay. And I always had that mentality. So
Yeah.
me staying there, actually, I felt like that was hurting people.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because they see your potential, and more than you probably see it, and,
Right.
and then they know. All right, all it takes for you is to just get out there. You need to get out there, dude. Because
Right.
yeah, because you too big for this, or you're just different. This city is too country for you, or is too,
Right.
some specific demographic is,
Yes.
or you adapt. You would seem like you would be a New York person, or people
Right.
put you there. If you're a California or a Florida person, or
Yeah.
you
But
need
like this right here, you need to be away from it.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and that's that is a good friend. They see the potential in you and want you to succeed and go forth and do what you need to do, even if they're not involved.
Right.
Even if they won't even see that you're going to reach that potential, they
Right.
want you there. And that's
Right.
some of the things that I think about with different people, with different friends that I have. I
Mhm.
like we were saying, I want to see the best in you, and I might see it and you don't, and then
Mhm.
you have to be able to, like you said, listen and hear that this is what they see in you, and if you want to
Yep.
go forth and do it, that's up to you. But
Right.
see something in you that you might not see, and
Right.
that's a good friend. They'll be like, man, you. So like somebody told me that I'm a leader. I never thought of myself as a leader.
Yeah.
Until they said it, and then
Mm.
I started thinking, I'm like, damn, I am a leader, And if
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that, I'd still be, oh, I'm just regular hour, and I'm just trying to be a positive influence. Da, da, da. But for somebody, and he was a preacher, a reverend or something, I think, a church leader,
A leader in himself.
leader,
Yeah.
yeah. And then he's telling me that I'm a leader. I'm like,
Right.
I had to think about it, but it was just like, wow, that's true, especially with the things that I'm doing and trying to be a positive influence in
Yeah.
society and all that. But some of those things are leadership traits, and you have to accept that responsibility. But yeah, it's difficult to hear sometimes, but you have
Yes.
to, and then be like, okay, I'm gonna take that, and this is a good person. He's a friend telling me that. So wow, that's I don't know, that puts a I don't know, like a crown or responsibility or something, like.
Yeah.
But that's part of, like I said, with greatness. You
Yes.
you have to accept that greatness, because we all have greatness in us. It's just what we shine, what shines from us, and what we choose to put out there. And like I said, I
Right.
put put positivity out there. Trying
Right.
to think and get it all out at the same. But yes,
Yes.
just putting out that positivity and letting other people see it. That's the main thing. And just hearing that, I'm a leader. I do want that. I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, trying to be a positive leader is the great thing. Yeah.
Right.
And seeing that people hear you, friends, family, everybody. Yeah.
Right. 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 Well, I feel like that's a really good place for us to stop, and then end this first episode of season 2, and
Yes.
bring y'all some more stuff after that. But flies flying around.
Yeah.
But Pops, I'm gonna let you do our sign off.
All right. Say always what I would like to say at the end of my things. Uh, always stay pimping, positive influence, motivating my people. Positive
Hey.
influence, motivating my people. That's everybody. That's all y'all out there. All y'all my people that are listening to the podcast and everything. All y'all are my people. My peoples. Positive influence, motivate my peoples. And as always, keep living
Yes.
and loving life. Or loving and living life. Either way you want to do it. Let's go, people. Enjoy
Yes.
life, appreciate the relationships that you have, and just keep moving. That's my positivity I want to put out there right now.
Love it, love it. And before we say it, I don't know if anybody's ever known this. People that know us know this, but the final way we sign off is we always just both say peace almost at the same time. But that's also how we hang up the phone. Anytime I call my dad or FaceTime or whatever, we literally always we just say it at the very end. And so that's why it's something that goes into his videos on Instagram, but also in every podcast episode. If you've listened, you will hear us at the very end of it say peace. So without further ado,
Yeah. Peace.
peace. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tune in for the next episode. It's coming soon.
Yes, definitely.